first thing I wanted to bring up, the trailer that came out today with Black Widow, which we saw.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Black Widow? Are you a fan of Marvel like that?
I'm really just curious to see how they're gonna use this movie, even though like in the end game, like it was her end game kind of in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's done.
Dead.
She's no more. Yeah. So I want to see like how. Obviously, I'm assuming it's just gonna be a complete flashback scene of her brought up, and that's sort of what they picked and they showed in the trailer. But I'm really, and the way they went about it seems different than any other Marvel movie. Like I feel like it has a much more, and just off of a first watch of the trailer, I could tell like it has much more of a serious tone to it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily as goofy or like you
can
sort of
for, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like it would fit in, and it has sort of a. I want to say like what was that movie that came out with the Russian spy? It was like a couple years ago, maybe a year ago, with the blonde, Atomic Blonde. I think.
Blonde, yeah.
I think it has that
spy
kind of feel
thriller,
to it.
yeah.
A spy thriller. So I think they're gonna focus more on that. So I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, because this is taking place. What was it, Josh?
Civil War and Infinity War.
Yeah, so like that time
middle-
gap.
Oh, that middle
You know how she's
period.
always talking about
Yes.
Budapest.
Yes.
You know, so it's taking place in between that time. I always thought this movie is actually a few years late. You know, it
Yeah.
should have came out during
Should
that
have been
period. But I do
Way
know,
overdue.
Yeah, it's
100%
overdue.
way
Yeah,
overdue.
because after Civil War, what do we got a couple movies. That's probably why they got like Black Panther,
Yeah.
Thor
Yeah,
Ragnarok,
yep.
and I think Captain
Thor
Marvel.
Ragnarok, by the way,
Yeah.
one of my favorite
Yeah,
movies.
love that one. And I think we got what Captain Marvel. Those were the
Captain Marvel, yes. It was I think Infinity War and then Captain Marvel and then we got Endgame.
Yeah, so if this is taking place before, it's like in between Civil War and Infinity.
Did we get Spider-Man at that time too? Right. Spider-Man came in the middle of that. Yeah.
Maybe
Spider-Man
that's a
came
lot
in the
of
middle of
that's
that.
a lot of stuff
There's
there.
a lot of stuff.
So
Marvel's working.
They
man.
probably had to push it to the side, but I'm glad that it is being made, and I'm liking the spy thriller aspect to it.
Maybe at the right time too, because I feel like with the whole build-up of what they were going for at the end of Civil War and then like Infinity War and all of that, I think it might not have fit into like where everybody would have gone and seen it.
And even with her death now too, right?
Yeah.
I feel like people are like, we get to watch her one last time.
Exactly.
It's like a send-off movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that could
That'd
work.
be pretty cool.
Yeah, that could work. I like the spy thriller aspect of it. I am hoping they push through with that, because you know how Disney and Marvel can
Yeah.
be. They hold back a lot, and that was actually we heavily criticized Endgame about that.
Yeah.
Like why? Because Infinity War is
Right.
one thing.
Yeah.
Like that's like Thanos' movie. That movie is dark.
Yeah.
I loved every second of it. And Endgame, I liked it, but they held back a lot. I felt like, and once you start reading up on a lot of the things that they cut out, like there was one point when Thanos was gonna show up, like he goes to 2014 to get Captain America's head, and he was gonna roll it to them when he showed up. A lot of things like that. That's like that's pretty badass,
Yeah.
but.
It takes back because they wanted to fit that I'm assuming PG-13 rating and not go the whole R-rated.
I'm sure they could have done it PG-13, but I think it
would have been a lot for
kid-friendly,
kids.
right?
Yeah,
That's the thing. That's why I was surprised with Infinity War. Infinity War to me is like I think the best one.
Yeah,
even better than Endgame. I don't know.
A lot of people say that. I personally I really liked Endgame because I think in Infinity War you kind of felt for Thanos. Mm-hmm. I don't like you kind of like. It was a very like he was doing it. He had this one vision in his mind and he wanted to complete that vision. And then in Endgame he was sinister. Yeah, he was an actual villain.
It was his younger
I'm coming
self
to kill you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was after he probably went through a whole awakening and enlightened mindset into whatever Infinity War was. Nah. Younger, he's like, yo, I just want to destroy you.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. So do you prefer Endgame more than Infinity War? Where do you stand?
It's hard, man, because and a lot of people ask me. And this was before Infinity War and Endgame came out, where it was like, I think we were debating Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok, and we were like, which one do you like more? I'm like, it's really hard to say because it feels like it's building up to something. And like the recent one is the best one, you know what I mean? Because you can't, like, it's like when you're watching even in a show, like sometimes there'll be like, there'll be specific episodes you really like, but the most recent episode is usually the one that you like the most because it's leading towards the next phase or next whatever. So I that's sort of like how I looked at it, and I really drew to Endgame. Maybe a lot has to do with my experience. I went with a lot of my friends, and it was like a big hype up moment for all of us.
It was an experience.
So I associated all of that to that one watch of Endgame. So like that to me was pretty special.
It is a cool. It's literally an event, and that's why I'm hoping. Because after Endgame, it's like. I was kind of like, okay, I think I'm done with Marvel for a bit.
Exactly.
Take a break. So I'm hoping now they can start taking a different approach with Black Widow.
Yeah.
I like that darker approach. If it could be anything like Winter Soldier, remember you guys?
Cool. Yeah.
That spy thriller, dark, action. If it could be like that, I hope so. Based off the trailer, I think they could pull it off.
Yeah.
Because I love Black Widow.
It doesn't seem light at all. Like
Yeah.
like usually in trailers they're sneaking like a little haha moment.
There's little
Doesn't-
jokes.
Yeah, there's little
It's
jokes that Disney Marvel. Thank God that because Thor Ragnarok caught me by surprise.
Mhm.
That movie was one of the movies where I was like, yo, this movie's really funny. Like I really
Yeah.
liked it because of how humorous it was and how like it was more than just obviously whatever. Like I was like, I didn't know Thor was this funny.
Yeah.
And they really
He
made
needed
it.
that. He needed that. And the
And
movie
so-
handled it well. It just
Really
took it
well.
as like a
Really well.
comedy. It's
Yeah.
basically a comedy.
Yeah, and
And-
mixed into the story somehow. But yeah, so
Yeah, man.
so that's I really do hope they go like a serious
Yeah.
spiral for that.
So what did you think, Josh, with Black Widow? You feel the same? I know Taskmaster was like one of the
Yeah,
complaints,
well, I don't
right?
read the comics, so I don't give a shit. So,
Yeah, because there was huge complaints about Taskmaster.
Yeah, I really don't care. I'm actually pretty excited for the movie. Like
Yeah.
because I'm a big fan of Black Widow. I think
Yeah.
she's like really cool.
Yeah.
I think she's really cool, and it looks cool. I'm really excited.
He's a fan of Scarlett Johansson.
So, she's
Big
great.
fan.
Yeah,
Lifetime fan.
Yeah, lifetime fan.
I mean, and we never really got a lot of her. You know what I mean? She was
Yeah.
always just in
Yeah.
movies, just not the main part of any movie.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
And we never got a chance to get that origin story that this will probably give us. So.
Yeah,
I 100% agree.
Based off the trailer, it's going into because Age of Ultron.
And
Remember
the
those
cast-
flashbacks and
the
stuff.
Well, yeah, it has like it showed that moment of her having that flashback while she was
Uh-huh.
walking. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they're gonna give us more in depth of her.
Yeah.
And the movie can be about her rather than her just being an
Leading
extra,
up.
or,
to
yeah, or
something.
like part of a bigger thing.
Yeah,
So
I really hope it's good because me, I actually don't like Endgame now.
Yeah.
I've seen it like 4 times,
I've seen it a lot too.
and I was like, you know what? I actually don't like Endgame. I actually when we first did like a podcast about it, I gave like a 9. Now I'm kind of like, you know what? It's more like a 7 for me.
Really?
Yeah, because I actually
Very
don't-
critical. Very
Wow.
critical.
Yeah, because now
What changed?
I hate Thor.
Okay.
Thor pissed me off.
The fat Thor.
Yeah, the fat Thor.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. Hulk pissed me off even more.
Yeah.
I love Hulk.
It's just
and
soft Hulk is.
And he was sidelined. I was
Yeah.
like, why is he sidelined?
And the amount of deleted scenes that
And
we found out
oh yeah.
about the Hulk was supposed to get his rematch with Thanos.
Yeah.
yeah.
Didn't
Cut
happen.
out.
Yeah.
The Hulk was gonna have a badass moment with Black Panther.
Yeah.
Where there's a huge creature. You remember it was like there's storyboards on it. And there's a huge like monster coming up to them, and they kind of look at each other, and Black Panther says, "Hit me," because you know how he absorbs all the. So the Hulk was gonna hit him.
That would have been awesome.
And he was gonna use that
Was that in one of the scenes of the extra the movie
No,
that came
it
out the
was-
second time?
it was
concept
like-
art.
it was like
concept
concept
art.
art.
It didn't even.
That sucks.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
blows.
and one thing too is that in the sketch art, it's like the Hulk normal. It's
Yeah.
like
the
the
big,
strong.
yeah, the strong, the angry Hulk.
Yeah, because I never read up someone that which Hulk version was that? The Smart Hulk? whatever it
Professor
was?
Hulk.
Yeah, that
Professor
one.
Hulk, yeah.
That was kind of like a last second change.
Mm.
Yeah, because they went back to Infinity War to add him struggling to take out the Hulk. So
Yeah.
for Endgame, he has that moment.
Yeah, because they went back. Because
Yeah.
my guess, because in Infinity War he was gonna break out
Yeah.
of the Hulkbuster. Remember
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
was, and then he was gonna have a scene there and fire you, whatever. But then they decided to take that out because they didn't want him
didn't know
to
that.
lose again.
Didn't know that.
And
Also, did you guys see the end game with the extra scenes at the end
Not
of it?
worth it.
Not worth it? Because I didn't go see it.
I
didn't
forgot
go
that
see
we
it.
did. Yeah,
It
what was
was-
extra? Oh, the deleted scenes.
Yeah.
The deleted
It
scenes.
was
yeah.
one scene with how the Hulk is introduced. It's not even finished, so
Yeah.
it's like that animated. We got a poster out of it, so
Pretty
you
cool
know
poster.
it was a cool poster. But
It was
it.
definitely to beat Avatar, I feel like. Just to get over the...
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That-
trying to drive more people. But
it
I
was-
heard... Here's what I heard. Avatar also released twice in theaters. That I did not know until
Yeah.
somebody told me afterwards that, Avatar did that too. So I was like, oh, if they did it, I feel like I don't feel as bad as them really
Yeah.
pushing.
Yeah.
Well, I
know.
think if